Good morning, Al. Good morning, Dino. Nice to speak to you. It's currently 3:20 in the afternoon here in Brisbane. And let me just paint you a little picture. I know the studio is luxurious where you work at talkSPORT, but there's the infinity pool out in front of me just now.
I can see it. I'm looking at it. You sent me. I can see it.
I've just sent you a picture just to rub it in your face, because usually you get
average.
to paint the lovely pictures of where you've been.
It's average.
It's average. That's so rude. I've pulled out all the stops to get up on this rooftop today, and you've just thrown it right in my face. I may as well go throw myself in the pool. I've been awake for 30 hours straight, and I'm sitting in the corner like a shivering mess. You know that way when you've been awake for so long, you get so cold.
Oh.
The sun is out. It's shining. It's 24 degrees.
Oh, nice.
It's blue skies, and I'm wearing about 3 layers, including an Ireland top that I've had on for about 24 hours, and my leather jacket over the top of it. So really, really glamorous at this time of the afternoon here in Brisbane. But right in front of me is the Lionesses Hotel. It's matchday -1. Press conference happening right now as we speak. Serena Wiegman and Millie Bright speaking to the press just ahead of the game against Haiti tomorrow.
So what about Shebahn? We heard that earlier, the Philippines, shocking the Swiss a wee bit here. Is it well supported, Shebahn? Are we going to get decent crowds?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Alan, I couldn't believe it yesterday at Stadium Australia. So initially, when the World Cup was happening and the opening games had been booked, New Zealand, obviously the first game, that was a sellout. And then in Sydney, they had the 43,000 stadium just next to the Sydney Harbour Bridge, the Allianz. And then in the end, it sold out so quickly that they ended up moving it to the bigger stadium. It's a bit like the Wembley of Sydney, which was 83,000. And there was a total of 76,000 yesterday at that game. And I was looking around me and I couldn't see an empty seat in the stadium yesterday. Also, the final has sold out as well. There's 9 stadiums and they're selling well, roughly averaging at around about 38 to 40,000 seater stadiums. But here just now, Alan, like being in Brisbane, you're a really kind of built up city at this moment in time. Coming through Sydney from the airport today, they are going for it. They are pushing the Matildas, the Australians out there. They're making sure that they're branding this tournament properly. They're pushing Sam Kerr out there, Caitlin Ford, Steph Catley. They're poster girls of the tournament all around Australia. And it's such a big place. I know that sounds like a dumb thing to
Shebahn,
say.
I played in the first game at the Sydney Soccer Stadium, the new one.
Did you?
Yes, and scored.
Wow.
We won 1-0 and scored.
What was the goal like?
I got off. It was a tap in, far post. Got off
Is
the plane
this when you were with Wollongong?
Correct. Got off the plane Saturday morning. They took one look at me and went, "Oh my God!" I went, "Don't send me in that airline ever again. It's the worst airline."
She's steaming.
I wouldn't say steaming, but it's a long journey, isn't it? So I had a quick hour's kip, went down there, played at 5 o'clock at night, and scored. We won 1-0.
Oh, good.
I was breathing out of everywhere after half an hour.
Shebahn, your sister's team, the Republic of Ireland, yesterday. Not the right result, but what a good performance, and they had some chances.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I didn't exactly see them coming out of that game with a win. Australia are very, very good. They're ranked number 10 in the world. Ireland up to rank number 22 now, so they are getting better, and this is their first major tournament. Ireland, by the way, have never had the opportunity to play on that stage. They've never ever played at the Aviva before in Dublin. The max crowd they've played to is about 7,000, so I actually think they took it in their stride yesterday, and that was the one thing bothering me going into the game was, would they be ready? Would they be mentally ready for that occasion? Going away to Sydney. The majority of the fans are, of course, Australians. Again, such a strong side, usually led by Super Sam Kerr, who was ruled out then because of her calf injury. I thought they handled it well. I really did, and it was feisty. There was a lot of aggro going on between the WSL players, high-flying challenges going in. And then, of course, Marissa Shiva, she's just new to the Ireland side. That was her 4th cap yesterday, and being on the big stage as well. But she kind of fell victim, I think, to Hayley Raso. We know her from Manchester City. She's just joined Real Madrid, but we haven't seen her play there yet. And yeah, she ended up getting the foul and went down in the box, and Ireland conceded the penalty. Steph Catley, she is at Arsenal, outstanding player. In fact, her fiance is Dean Bouzanis, who's the goalkeeper at Reading, and she ended up stepping up, taking the penalty, and that was the difference.
Yeah.
That was the difference there in that game yesterday. I thought Ireland were incredible and should be really proud of that performance.
Shebahn, I said Philippines had taken the lead, but I think the goal was disallowed, so I'm just looking live now. Nearly 25 minutes gone, 0-0, so they've cancelled that goal out.
I'm surprised about Switzerland going 1-0 down, but like you say, that's just been ruled out. Switzerland are a good side. Leah Volte is their captain. She plays for Arsenal as well. You've got Alicia Lehmann, who's the most famous women's footballer in the world. Anna Chernonosevic as well, who plays for Barcelona. Switzerland are a strong side. I watched them in the Euros last year, of course, in England, and they did have some upsets, like Portugal. They were 2-0 up against Portugal, and then Portugal come back and levelled it out to 2-2. So I'll be watching Switzerland later on as the tournament progresses, but you would expect a team like that to come out of the group. And then today, of course, Nigeria-Canada in Group B. That ended 0-0. Nigeria had a player sent off, one of their star players, and there was a penalty missed in that game. So that's 3 games so far where we've seen 3 penalties. So we're going to see VAR a lot more in this tournament, starting to spot the mistakes in the women's game as well, and really thrust it there out into the spotlight that little bit more. But so far, I think the way this tournament has kicked off, it's had it all. It's had the real special moments. It's had penalties. It has sending off. It's had real aggravation and beef that we love to see, I think, in the women's game.
Shebahn, we're going to head for the golf in a moment, but before we do, we've been reading about England's goalkeeper, Mary Earps. What's happened?
Yeah, so this is a sad one actually, because Nike have decided, and other kit manufacturers have decided not to make the goalkeeper's kit. So Mary Earps is the current FIFA best goalkeeper in the world of 2022. Of course, she's won the Euros as well, and she is the star of the Lionesses, one of the vice captains as well. So they've not decided to make the shirt again. They didn't make it in the Euros, and she spoke to the press for half an hour yesterday, just saying this isn't good enough. It's upsetting. It's hurtful. It means we're setting an example that to young girls and young boys, go be a striker, but don't be a goalkeeper. And it's upsetting to her and her family that they can travel all the way across the world to see her play at World Cup, and we cannot get her top. So Nike have come under a bit of fire for this as well, but what they can say is, well, if we're going to make a Lioness goalkeeper kit, we have to do that for all the other countries, and what if we don't hit those sales? Mary Earps would likely sell out. Would the other countries? Probably not as much as a brand, but she's upset about this. She's also offered to pay and fund it as well. So she's kicking off about this just now. It's one of the questions we're going to make sure she's asked it in the press conference today, and make sure we get an answer about that. But yeah, one thing I love, Alan, about all of this, about the women's football tournaments, is when they have a problem, they speak up, they make sure their voices are heard, and I'll bet you that'll be changed very, very soon, and Mary Earps will win this one.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.